Okay, so now we're going to switch gears to I can't say it's a happier story because it's actually more tragic because it's 100% real. There was a movie that I saw last year. I just saw it on a whim. Now, a lot of times I'll start watching a movie and I'll be doing something else. I'll be reading or I'll be writing or something like that. And I put this movie in and I started reading some news articles, and the first 10 minutes is just a monologue with all these weird visuals. And I was like, what a pretentious monologue. The character was using, all these $3 words, and I was like, it's a little overwritten. But the visuals, I kept catching them out of the corner of my eye. The visuals just kind of started shocking me. Very, very well done visuals. And about 10 minutes in, I realized I needed to stop reading, to rewind the movie, and to watch it from beginning to end. And that movie is called The Evil Within. It's not based on the video game. It is I shouldn't say extremely, but it is a cult movie without a following, I guess I should say. Critics have said if Tommy Wiseau and David Lynch made a movie together, it would be The Evil Within. This movie came out of nowhere. Okay, so The Evil Within, it's a fairly basic horror movie plot-wise. A young man lives in a house. There's a haunted mirror that is put into his bedroom, and a demon begins to communicate with him through the mirror. The movie was, I think, shot for maybe $3 to $5 million. It was very low budget. It's very helpful when you have one actor playing multiple parts. Obviously, he's the good guy and the bad demon in the mirror because it's his reflection. And the story is about him trying to overcome this demon in the mirror. Those type of stories, those type of movies are a dime a dozen. What makes this one interesting is for several reasons. One, what the movie's really about and the story behind it. So the hero of the movie, which I can't believe I used that word, he's not even protagonist. The main character in the movie, he starts off giving this huge monologue about dreams and the nature of dreams. Like I said, he's using these $3 words. He's just really, it's very overwrought. He's talking about all these dreams he had. And then he begins in the real world, but he's still dreaming. The movie goes on for another 15 minutes of this monologue full of stop motion monster effects. It gets really nightmarish. And then he delivers the first of many twists. He said, well, that's my monologue. You're going to hear my real voice now, and you might have to get used to it. And then we realize when he's not monologuing, he is a severely mentally disabled man. And so he's basically playing three characters. He's playing the monologue, he's playing this mentally disabled kid, and he's playing the demon in the mirror. And that's why he can't just move the mirror out of his room. He's trapped there. His older brother's there. His older brother's his caretaker. This goes on. And the demon starts to tell the boy, the mentally disabled boy, you're not really mentally disabled. See, you need to evolve. You need to evolve. And the way to evolve is to prove to people that you're smarter, that you've realized the rules of the game. We eat animals, right? So that means it's okay to kill animals. Everybody does it. Even kids kill animals. They know the rules. You don't. You need to go out and kill a dog. And the mirror is constantly upping this game. And the whole time you're watching this movie, you're thinking, where is this going?
Who are you? I'm not just one. I've been called Legion. I am many. Where are you? I'm right here. The dark place. Where is the dark place? I'm not sure. I couldn't show you on a map. I do know this, though. No one here ever wanted to come. But you, oh, Dennis, you would love it here. If you came here, you'd be happy for the rest of your life. If I went there, I'd be happy for the rest of mine. So, what do we do? Just keep doing what you're doing. It'll make you smarter. It'll make me able to go where you are. It's a good deal, all the way around. Just keep doing what you're doing. What do you look like? You want to see me? Take this mirror and point it at the closet mirror. Take a step back. Look down the hallway into infinity. Is that you? I didn't choose to look this way. Why should I help you anymore? You hurt me. Who's really hurting you? Me or Susan? Susan likes me. She wouldn't fuck you with someone else's pussy. Why? She wouldn't fuck a retard. How revolting. But a serial killer, how exciting. How intriguing, how mysterious. You know what makes you so unattractive in Susan's eyes? No. She thinks you couldn't hurt a fly. She thinks you're insignificant. If you killed her, she'd die screaming. She'd die in agony. But she'd die wet, between the legs. Am I really your enemy? Dennis, I'm your only friend. I'm hungry, Dennis. Let's go get some ice cream.
And as I'm watching it, the first time I'm watching it, I was maybe an hour into it, and I was on the edge of my seat. I thought at that point, I go, at this point, it is all about the ending. If this movie can stick the ending, this movie is going to be one of my favorites. It is so flat out bizarre. It truly is like David Lynch made a terrible film, because that's what's interesting about it too. There's a whole lot of flaws in the film. There's weird dead ends. There's a point where two people, they go to this same restaurant over and over again because the movie's so low budget. They only had one set, and it's like an outdoor park. And they go there, and it's the same extras, but one time they go there, and everyone's different. And they even go, hey, none of the same people are here that were here last time. And it makes you think, is it because of the events that Dennis, the kid, is doing? Or was it because the director couldn't find the original cast? I'm not going to spoil the movie anymore for you, other than to say it is a great horror movie, both on the levels of a twisting plot, great special effects, and the fact that it is so amateurish that it is like watching someone else's dream. So let's go to the behind the scenes story. So this movie took 14 years to make. It was made by Andrew Getty, heir to the Getty oil fortune, and a horrible, horrible meth addict. Now, he believed that dreams were stories told by somebody else to you while you slept. And that is also the trauma that Dennis is going through in the movie. Dennis says, I can't make up my own dreams. It's impossible. Because you can't tell a joke without seeing the punchline coming, right? So how can you have a dream that is so scary it scares you if you're the one making it up? Because you know the ending. You know that you're making it up, so how can it scare you? The only way for you to have a nightmare that truly scares you is for somebody else to tell you that nightmare. And so that's kind of the thought process that runs through the movie. It's all about dreams and nightmares. And I will tell you this right now, the whole movie is not just a dream. That was one of my worries as I was watching it. It hangs very much in the world of dreams and nightmares and what is reality. But it is not a trick ending at all. It totally sticks the ending. You can tell the enthusiasm in my voice is here much more than Mexican sugar dancing. I know a ton about agave plants now. I don't even drink a tequila. Andrew Getty was a meth addict and a millionaire. And ever since he was a kid, he was tormented by these horrible nightmares. So back, I believe, in like 2004, he started shooting this movie called The Storyteller. And it took about a year or two to shoot. Pretty basic shoot in the beginning. But he spent the next 12 years working on the editing, the stop motion. He would sit in his mansion. He turned a part of his mansion into a recording, like a production booth. He was burning through his available cash. And they said he was eating cereal. Like, the producer would come over and he's like, yeah, man, I've just been eating cereal for like 2 weeks straight. Part of that was the fact that he was spending all of his time and money on the movie. The other part of the fact, he was spending all of his time and money on meth as well. And so I can't imagine being a meth addict for one, but also to be a meth addict and being like, time to edit my horror movie. Time to delve into my childhood trauma about how horrible nightmares are. And that's how he was spending his life. So he had all of his money. And so he was hiring, people to do it, experts to do it. He had people on. He had Sean Patrick Flannery was in it. He was the older brother. He had Dina Meyer. She was Dizzy from Starship Troopers. She was in it. But as the movie kept going on, so they filmed the original movie, but he kept tweaking with it, doing more special effects, writing new scenes. People started dropping out. A couple of the cast members died in the 14 years. And that's why I think the scene when they're sitting at the restaurant and they go, none of these people have been here before. These are all new people. I think it's the fact that he couldn't find those people again and he just wrote it into the script. It works brilliantly. Not that particular scene. Because some of the stuff's really just wooden. But the only two people who stayed with the movie from beginning to end was the star, Frederick Kohler, and Michael Berryman. Michael Berryman's a famous horror movie actor. He's the guy from The Hills Have Eyes. He looks like a monster, stuff like that. This guy was tortured over this movie. Andrew Getty was tortured over this movie. He was working on it. So he's working on this movie. Andrew Getty is trapped and tortured, working on this bizarre horror movie, constantly doing reshoots, working on the stop motion effects, and injecting meth this whole time. And what's interesting is that this movie was about the fears of his life, and he was still felt driven to make this. And then in 2015, he began having stomach pains, and finally, in March 2015, which, weird coincidence, is the same month that the Mexican sugar dancing meme started. Didn't realize that. He bled to death in his stomach and died. The movie wasn't finished. And so what happened was the producer got together and realized, okay, what do we need to do? Because this was this guy's passion project. So the producer actually finished the movie for him. It's like, this movie needs to be seen. This was the thing he worked on. They finished the movie. It was called The Storyteller. They sold it to a distributor. They renamed it to The Evil Within, which is generic as that title as that is. It's much better than The Storyteller. And they released it, and it just disappeared. As far as I know, it's still not available on Netflix. It just kind of came out. It was no wide release. But the reviews, there's tons of articles about this movie. And the reviews are like, it's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess. I had as much fun researching it as I did watching the movie. This movie is completely amateurish, but it shows such a level of genius. We wish this guy could have stayed alive. And, of course, the review, if Tommy Wiseau and David Lynch directed a movie together, it would be The Evil Within, which is 100% accurate. I definitely recommend watching this movie, The Evil Within. I think that the story behind it adds to the tragedy, because basically you're watching a man's waking nightmares, and then you're watching a man's obsessions. 14 years on one project. That's insane. But he kept working on it. And you just have to wonder what was going through his head as he was watching his own visions on screen, only to die alone in a bathroom at, the age of 47. The drugs eating at him, the terrors eating at him. He's working on this project that is all about terror, and he dies alone. The good thing is the movie was released, and it's found a small fan base, but I think it will find a bigger fan base as more people watch it, as more people find it. So I highly recommend watching the movie The Evil Within. And it's just sad to think of what could have been. Because I definitely think he was definitely a great visual director. He was an amateur, it was his first film, but yeah. Take care of yourself, guys. Don't do unhealthy things. Don't do unhealthy things. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.